Aiyana-Lee, you got a lot going on. Congrats on the Image Award nominations. How you
Thank
feeling?
you. Oh my goodness. I'm so thrilled. I was not expecting it at all. I was very shocked. One of my friends actually called me and was like, you're a nominee, right?" I was like, "What?" So very exciting times. Very exciting.
So, what has highest to lowest done for your career?
Oh my goodness. I think for me you know, it's really crazy to see the journey from, obviously it being in theaters to then being on streaming to people discovering it, throughout the months. It's been quite life-changing to have so many people, firstly, just people, on the street be like, "Wow, loved what you've done in this," discovering my discography and what I've kind of done throughout the years, people discovering the song and meaning something to them. And then, of course, career-wise, it's really opened a lot of doors and given me a lot of opportunities for more projects and more things. So I'm just endlessly grateful to Spike for believing.
Yeah. And I know you've told this story before, but for my audience,
Yes.
what role does social media play in this opportunity?
Oh, wow. My goodness. Everything. Everything. So, this is what happened. I wrote a song called My Idols Lie to Me. This was after, I had kind of been through quite a wild roller coaster, and my old label had gotten sold. I was completely broke. I was going to be homeless. Wrote this song, posted it online, and after months and months of kind of like sharing covers and making 6 different TikTok accounts and posting on reels 3 times a day, it got to a point where I started posting this song, and it just was going incredibly viral, 20 million views per post, which was just insanity. I went from 60,000 followers to 500,000 to now it endlessly kind of growing daily. But Spike had actually it stumbled across his page, and he sent me a DM on Instagram and he said, "This is the real Spike Lee." And honestly, I did not believe it. He sent me a whole long paragraph of how he had listened to my discography, how he discovered me. And yeah, it completely changed my life. That one DM from Spike Lee, from that point to, not believing it was real at 6 a.m., waking my mom up, being like, "Girl, I think Spike Lee DM me." And her being like, "Girl, go back to sleep. You're dreaming." To then meeting him that very same day in Los Angeles. To then months and months later, you know, being on set with Denzel Washington. It's been a really wild ride.
So you said the song went viral on what platform?
Mhm. On TikTok, Instagram, that was a song that he had discovered me with. My Idols Lied to Me, and then later on, he it was kind of a something that showed him, oh, she's like a songwriter. And it was something that throughout my career I had to kind of fight for, which is strange, but I think as a young woman coming up, a lot of times you're kind of told, it's like you're a pretty face, or oh, you're kind of like, this is you can sing, but like, I don't know if I want to hear about who you are. That's kind of what my past kind of tried to tell me, I guess, and try to box me into. And I had always loved songwriting, and was always someone who found it very important to me. And so Spike gave me an opportunity to write, an original song for Highest to Lowest, entitled Highest to Lowest, and it was something that we really crafted. And he sent me the script, and I got to read the script and really make sure that it encapsulates the story of the film, but also he encouraged me to write a lot about my story as well as an artist. And so the lyrics became very real, very emotional.
Wow. So you based what you were writing for the song on what was in the script.
It was what was in the script and kind of like the story of, David King, who, is this music executive who, he goes from kind of, you know, wanting the numbers and the, it's a play on, you know, he kind of in this moment in this scene comes back to the reason he started music, which I think he felt lost for a while. He kind of got disillusioned and kind of taken by, oh, the numbers and just signing this or that, or the manufacturedness of what it was. And I think in this scene, he's returning to himself and the reason why he's done this in the first place and wanted to start a company and a legacy in the first place. And it was also a lot of my story, to be honest, that came through. And Spike really encouraged me to dig into, you know all those experiences that I had been through in the music industry and to put it into this song. And that's really what it became.
Why did your family come to the US from the UK?
Because I drove my mom nuts and uh I wanted to be an artist, man. I wanted to do it on a very big scale, and we lost everything to be able to do it. I mean, my mom sacrificed her life and her kind of like everything she built in England to come here and give me that opportunity uh to chase my dreams on that level, and ended up losing our house out there and a lot of things, and almost homeless before Spike discovered me. And so it's just been a journey, but I wouldn't change anything. You have to go through the hardships to have a story. And yeah, here I am in Los Angeles, sunny Cali, had the glasses on earlier.
I, I love that. I live in LA too. I live in the Valley.
Oh man, hot in the valley. Anytime it's hot, it's sizzling in the valley.
Yeah. At the end of the movie, you perform in front of Denzel. What was that like?
Oh my goodness. Well, firstly, it was live. It was live, and we didn't, there was no lip sync, there was no auto tune, there was no reverb. The set was dead, so there's no reverberation of the sound. So it was just very raw vocals done on an actor's mic. So I think it was a very vulnerable thing because, when you're doing it live, and we did it quite a few times live, in front of Denzel being there in front of you. It was just such I would say, just very vulnerable experience, very vulnerable and very real and very emotional. And it everything that you're hearing and you're seeing on screen is live. So it's really cool that we were able to do that. And Denzel's he's just such a superstar, but also such a humble, cool, inspirational human being with great advice also.
What did he tell you? What advice?
Oh man, just from, kind of grounding me into the scene and being present to just being very encouraging and being like, you're talented, you got this, he was like, is this your first? Because I had actually said, this is my first film. And he's like, no way, this is not your first film. Oh, you're a natural. This is great. And I was, it's just those type of like things that you take with you. Obviously being, Spike Lee, Denzel figures that I had always looked up to. It's really cool to have that encouragement from people that you've grown up with your whole life, as pillars of art and, film and all that.
When will we hear new music?
Hopefully soon. Hopefully very soon. I'm working on it. I'm working on a lot of music. Um, it's gonna be really cool when I get to share it with everybody. But man, I write songs every day anyway in my room. I've got notebooks on notebooks like throughout my room. There will be a lot of music. There will be a lot of projects this year, and I'm excited to share them with everyone.
Excellent. Well, your story is so inspiring, and I'm sure other, young musicians will hear it and just continue to pursue their dreams. So,
I hope so.
Aiyana-Lee, yeah, thank you so much for
Thank you.
speaking with me.
Thank you so much for having me. Appreciate it.